Hello again, this is Mike from Moustachio, and I'm going to do a second review of this updated web cache project. If you'll give me just a moment, I will show you that I'm using an application I'm working on called Moustachio. This will just take a few seconds. Moustachio lets you share a URL with a friend, family, or colleague via your social networks or any other standard channel such as Instant Messenger or email. And it allows them to simply review your site in a free-form manner like I'm going to do today, or it allows for you to ask them to perform a specific task while you watch. So thank you for your time there. So again, we're going to take a look at web cache. I've looked at it before. You can find the review on YouTube on the Moustachio app channel. So today we're going to take a look at this new design, and I hope that my first review has helped contribute to the new design. So it definitely looks great compared to the previous one. I've got the previous design right here. Yeah, so great improvement, nice use of the Bootstrap design framework. I did notice that it looks like up here you used two list items. Yeah, they look like they're two separate elements, which they are. That could be combined into one. Not a big deal. You've got the Dropbox logo, which is fantastic. I think when I came to the page, I immediately have some context as to what this is. When I see the Dropbox logo, and then the next thing I see is web hosting, I understand what this is, I think, right off the bat. The one thing I might change here is it says web hosting for your Dropbox. I don't need to host anything for my Dropbox. I think more something along the lines of web hosting from your Dropbox might be a more clean of a tag. I think the second line of text could be more specific. So it's kind of like this space up here is pretty important, and to tell me which folder is going to be used doesn't seem very important. So I think more like almost like a paragraph or a couple sentences here of smaller text describing what's going to happen or what this is. A little more detail might be useful. So I like the Twitter widget. So when I first came to the page, it immediately looked like, hey, there's mine. When I first came to the page, it immediately looked like there was activity, like this is, a lot of people are using this web app, which is great, which is what I think you want people to think. And so the one thing, it tells me how long ago. If that wasn't there, this would be great. So maybe the fact that it says 6 days ago is a negative thing rather than a positive thing. That actually suggests that there isn't a lot of use. So I don't know if you can use CSS or something to get rid of that entry, but that would be great. I also, when I make the page shorter, there's some design problems where the Twitter widget overlaps the footer. Not a big deal. So, going back to the form, I think one of the things I said in my review was to make this shorter. I think what you put here is perfect. And there's an example, although the example shows a full domain, all you want is a subdomain. That's alright though. I think maybe the form could use border around it to show that it's a form. I still think you have a problem where you've got 3 steps, but once I hit this link to Dropbox, I essentially never see your site again, from what I've seen. Unless I remember to come back to this URL. At no point do I need to come back to your site. So I'm never going to read this 3rd step. So if you think this is important enough to list as a step, maybe it needs to go further up. And I think it is an important step because it tells me what to do. And the first time I used this, I was confused about what to do next. So the next thing I noticed on this page is that there's no subpages or I think some people are going to come here and not be interested. Some people are going to come here and be very interested because it's going to fill a need that they have. But others are going to come here and it's not going to fill a need, but they are somewhat interested. And I think for those people, they were going to want to know more about what's going to happen or what you can do for them. So I think some type of some page that I can link to where I get a couple paragraphs or a diagram, an image of something, what's going to happen, could be a small amount of work that you can do that can greatly increase the conversion rates for your page here. Yeah, and again, the footer stuff it's interesting, but it's not useful. If you're creating a project for other people creating project and you want to kind of associate with them, then this is useful. But if you're trying to get people, if you're trying to convert people to use the application, I don't think this most of what down here, what's in the footer, is useful. I think the contact is useful, so we can chit chat. One thing that you might consider about this is to ask a specific question rather than an open, a wide open, contact us. I can show you what I've done. Is I'm using the same widget. Actually, after seeing you use it, I decided I wanted to use it. I'm using the same widget, but by changing the text, I'm asking a very specific question. For me, I want to know, why aren't you creating a project? Are you just not interested, or are you interested but something turned you off? So I'm asking, why won't you create a project? And if you won't, then I'm going to ask you, just using the OLARC extension, why don't you want to create a project? Because that feedback is super important to me. So yeah, I think you can use this rather than being wide open to be very targeted and get some feedback on your project. And I think you want feedback because that's what you've been asking for. So let me log in and show you the problem I'm having. Alright, I've linked my Dropbox, and I've got moustachioapp2.80calls.com, and this is a problem that I showed you in the first review that I think is still a problem that needs to be addressed, and especially in terms of usability. So you're linked up to my Dropbox, I end up on this page, and I don't know what to do. It doesn't tell me kind of like what the next step is to create a site, and that's okay because there's a README text, and so I'm going to click that to find out what should I do next. And unfortunately, there's nothing in here that tells me what I should do, how to get a site up and running. So I don't know if this is within your control or not, or if it's a Dropbox specific. But if you can put some useful text here, that would be very useful, I think. Although at this point you probably got them anyways, so they're probably going to use your site, but I could see some people getting lost as to what they should do next. Yeah, and then the same problem I kind of had before is I don't know how to get back to web cache. Now if I remember the URL, I can enter it, I can hit back, but if there was some way to get back to web cache, although maybe I don't need to get back to web cache, except for to say, what do I do next? And that's where I can finally see step 3, go to my Dropbox folder, apps web cache. So yeah, there's my my second review of web cache. The bootstrap design looks great. I like that you simplified a lot of things from your previous view, and I think your major heading is almost perfect. So thank you and good luck.